Everyone, and welcome to the answers to the feedback challenge for IELTS Writing Task 2, Paraphrasing 5. So the challenge last week was to write a paraphrase for the following question: that some feel executives in large companies should receive high salaries, while others think they are paid too much compared to ordinary workers. And this comes from a discussion essay. So we're just writing the paraphrase. So we've got 9 paraphrases to have a look at. A lot of good things in here, a few things that we can work on. So when I'm addressing this question myself, I would be thinking, first of all, how could I possibly change sentence structure? So we can maybe just change these views around, which is a nice way of changing sentence structure for any discussion essay. So we could talk about this view first, that they are paid too much, and talk about they should receive a high salary second. At the moment, this is a complex sentence, so we could change it into just 2 simple sentences. So we could have this sentence, full stop, and this sentence. Or we could use like 1 sentence, full stop, and then use coordinated conjunction, something like, a subordinate conjunction, like however, to separate. Some words that we can use here. So some, a number of, certain, people, individuals we could have, feel, believe, think, executives. I would keep this as executives, as we want to be as specific as possible. Somewhere here, someone mentioned about administrators. That is not the same as an executive. Be very, very careful about paraphrasing jobs, because if you start paraphrasing jobs, you're going to change the meaning. Large companies, big corporations. Should, this is a good word. So if you see should, this comes up a lot. Ought to is a good way to paraphrase it. Receive, get, high salaries, a lot of money. Ordinary workers, common workers. Majority of the workforce could be some words that we could think of as synonyms here. So let's have a look at this first one and see what the students done. So some believe that high salaries should be paid to people who work as executives at big organizations. Excellent. However, so here we're using a subordinate conjunction to separate these 2 clauses. A really nice way to change a while complex sentence into something different for a paraphrase. So, however, others feel that they get paid much more money than ordinary employees. So it's not saying that they're getting paid much more. We need the expression too much more. Because if we're just saying much more, we know that they get more, but too is inferring that it's too much. It's an excessive amount, whereas that meaning has not been conveyed here. So it's really important that we can say others feel that they get paid too much more money than ordinary employees. Apart from that little mistake there, pretty good at paraphrasing. Good job to that person. Certain individuals believe that high salaries ought to be, so nice, paid to employees who work at, when we talk about a level, it's a specific level. So it's the executive level in large organizations. Whereas, okay, nice synonym for while, others feel they are highly paid. So again, we're not expressing this too much. So they are, maybe we could say, they are paid too much more than ordinary employees. Okay, next one. Certain individuals think that senior staff, so be careful here, senior staff, I would say that executives and senior staff are not exactly the same. You might have senior staff who are not executives. So this is a very dangerous synonym to use. So let's keep the original. Certain individuals think that executives in large organizations ought to be paid well, okay? While others argue that those people are overpaid. Excellent, that's a nice way of expressing that they're paid too much compared to other employees. The rest of this is good, but just be careful of taking risks when we're talking about specific jobs. Okay, so let's have a look at our next batch. So a number of people believe that employees who are in higher positions. So again, it's a bit too risky in executive positions, because not all high positions are executives. So a number of people believe that employees who are in executive positions deserve to earn high incomes so their major companies is a really strange collocation from, I think we could say, big corporations. Whereas others feel that these workers are overpaid, okay, good, compared with average ones. Good. Some people think executives working for big companies need to get high salaries, while as a conjunction of contrast, all conjunctions of contrast need to common, while others believe they are already paid too much in comparison to common workers. Good, just spelling mistake here. Our next one, a number of people believe that managers in large organizations have too high incomes. We could say have incomes which are too high. So we're going to use a relative clause here to describe the income. So you giving this information or defining these incomes. So a number of people believe that managers in large organizations have incomes which are too high compared to ordinary employers, while others say they should be paid highly. Paid highly is a strange collocation. I think paid well would be a much more natural collocation here. And then moving on to our last three. So certain individuals think that executives in big companies are paid too much. So than doesn't work here. Say compared to. So certain individuals think that executives in big companies pay too much compared to normal workers, while others feel that they should receive higher salaries. Okay. Here, just we could change this because should receive high salaries. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to try and avoid having full words the same. So maybe they should get high salaries, or maybe be given. It is been. So this it is been is never going to be correct grammar. So we could say it is argued that people who have high positions, so be careful, high positions and executive positions are not the same. It is argued that people who have executive positions in corporations are overpaid compared to typical employees, while others say that they ought to receive that amount of money. So the rest was fine. These are just a few vocabulary issues. Certain individuals are of the opinion that multinational organizations. So it doesn't say multinational, it just says large companies. So be very, very careful of not changing the meaning with your synonyms. So certain individuals are of the opinion that big companies pay administrators. So we're not talking about administrators, we're talking about executives. A lot more money than common workers. So we're not saying it's more, we're trying to show that it's too much. So we need some kind of too much, or big companies, let's say, overpay executives to common workers, while others believe that they ought to be paid that much. Okay, that's fine. So overall, these were pretty good. I feel we did better than the last paraphrase, so well done. Most of the time, meaning was kept the same. Be very, very careful with jobs. We don't want to change the name of a job unless you're 1000% sure that the word has the same meaning. And then the typical grammar area that a lot of students struggle with, so make sure you go and study this, comparatives. Okay, and talking about too much and not enough. So those are some areas of grammar to have a look at. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please hit like, share to anyone who might also find this helpful. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to make sure that you don't miss any future challenges. If you had your work reviewed, please remember to hit the like button, as it really does help the channel. Thank you so much to everyone, and good luck with all of your studies.